There was some controversy, especially after day 2, regarding Magnus's lounge. This kind of became a thing. I'm not sure if it was after day 1. There was basically a drama every single day. I think it was day 1 when the lounge discussion came about. Let's start with that, I guess. What's there to say about it?
Okay, the first thing I want to say is that I don't consider this drama. I know people like this stuff.
It's like they space it out. They space it out.
Controversy. No, but I don't consider the thing drama. So first of all, I have never had access in this tournament to a private lounge personally. So I know that it's existed for players. I think in 2021, for like the last few games of maybe the last 2 rapid games, I visited the lounge, which was a very basic room where I think Vishy was there, Rapport, Karyakin, a bunch of guys, Anish and Levon. There was a bunch of guys who were going in and out of that room. It was a very basic room that you couldn't do anything there. Then last year, I didn't know that about a lounge. From what I've heard now, there was a lounge that Magnus, Hikaru, Jan, and maybe someone else were kind of going to.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard in the past that again, I don't know exactly the veracity of this since I haven't seen it, but I've heard that there was one tournament where Magnus had his laptop in the lounge. So I think what I said was that's why I don't consider it drama. I wasn't going after Magnus. I didn't consider it a controversial statement that I was saying. I just think that, of course, players are going to have, let's say, better or worse starting conditions. The organizers want to attract Magnus. They're going to give him hotel room, flights, maybe some starting fee. We don't know exactly the details, but he's going to get incentivized to play. But once you're in the tournament, I think everyone should more or less have the same level playing conditions. Now, I don't consider a room by itself a big deal. If someone chills out in their own private room, okay, no biggie. The only thing that caused me to repost was because there was the claim that Magnus had his laptop available to prepare. And that's what I don't think that should be allowed. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that one player should be able to prepare and others aren't. Just to go a little bit more into that, Henrik Carlsen, Magnus's father, said publicly that Magnus doesn't have access to a laptop. And of course we believe him because I don't think that he's going to, I think he's going to tell the truth about that.
Yeah.
In which case I don't see a big deal. And if I'd known that, I probably wouldn't have reposted or said anything. But again, I think what I said was just very generic, everyone should have the same playing conditions. That's about it.
Yeah.
And the other thing was people made a big discussion about it, you also accept better conditions. I mean, I don't think I've ever played, I've had better starting conditions, better appearance fee and so on. That's normal, but I've never had different playing conditions from any other player as far as I know. I mean,
yeah, no, and that's a very important difference that you're painting out for everybody right now, because obviously everybody will get incentivized based on their level to play a certain tournament. You're going to be offered what we call conditions, right? This is actually how we talk about it. Hey, did you get conditions to a specific tournament? Yes, sure, I got this and that. And of course, if you're better, you're going to get better conditions, but not... These are playing appearance conditions, not necessarily playing conditions. It's a very, very big difference. And as we just kind of understood, it wasn't really a big deal because Magnus did not sneak in his laptop, or at least obviously we don't. We believe him, obviously.
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that that's the case, that he didn't have his laptop.
Yeah.
Now, if someone can prepare for rapid games and the other person can't, it's obviously a sporting advantage. That's
it's a big clear. One. Yeah.
Now, just to speak about some of the public comments that I saw. Some were, of course, from trolls, right? There's some anonymous trolls out there. Some were from people in the chess world. For example, Hammer said, well, you also get your hotel covered, which is true. If you're over 2750, you get your hotel covered. Mm-hmm. Again, this is not a plain advantage. It's a privilege, but it's not a plain advantage. It doesn't give you an advantage once you're in the plane home. So anyway, that's just one thing. The other thing was a lot of people said, well, Magnus is world champion. He deserves it, which is ridiculous. Of course, you award someone who becomes world champion or becomes the best player in the world. with all the accolades and money and celebrity and everything else that they deserve. But of course, you don't give them better playing conditions. So that's just another thing. And the other thing was FIDE said that you can like bring your devices in. So I'll just explain the system. There was a playing hall. Once you enter from the outside world into the playing hall, you have to go through a security check. After your game, you can go into the players area, which is an area for all the players with food, tea, water, and so on.
How is, just to stop there for a second, how is the security check for this one? Is it thorough? Compare it to, let's say, Toronto, which you just
I think
played.
that the initial check is not thorough, but they also do random checks during games. I got checked twice with like a nonlinear junction scanner and a thermal scanner.
So they have the $40,000, $50,000 scanners as well. They don't have the TSA skills, the basic ones.
The metal detectors they have at the start, but those, of course, we know aren't like foolproof. For example, my protein bar was, because it probably has like a foil, like an aluminum foil, I guess, would actually set off the metal detector. And they were like debating, like, are you allowed to take this, or do you have to check this clearly wrapped piece of food? It's a RX bar, you know. I mean, But okay, so in the players' lounge, in the general players' area, which isn't a lounge, like most people have to stand up because there's not much seating and it's very crowded. It's fine there, but you can't have devices there. That's the first thing. If you want to access your device, you can go outside into the before you go through the security check. You can go outside and then you can re-enter and go through security check again to play. But nobody is taking their laptop into this open space, which is fully in the public view where you can't sit down. So, of course, nobody's doing that.
But what about check your phones?
Yeah, but nobody prepares with phones. I mean, you can't really prepare with a phone. You can prepare with a computer, but not with a phone. Anyway, that's besides the point, because it's all moot if there was no laptop involved. And that's all I was saying. Like, that's the only thing that I would have an issue with. If there's no laptop, I don't care if someone has their private room or if a few people share a private room. It doesn't seem like a sporting advantage. Anyway, that's the first thing, which I don't consider a real controversy. It was just more or less a discussion about like what should the playing conditions be.
Yes.